Oh no.
That's not where it goes.
Yes, it is. Look, they
The
account it.
game is like, all right, guy.
Couldn't make it easy, huh?
Well, they are making it easier. That's the game making up for everything else that happens in the game.
No, it's
to do
not.
more.
You have to destroy E103.
Need to pay reparations.
Oh no.
Wait, 103? Was that Epsilon? Oh,
Oh no.
you died.
No.
I can make it.
Wait, can you?
No.
Are you sure? Oh, it's
This is
invisible. wall.
invisible.
Me when I die.
What is your mission?
To spread the word of Christianity. Careful with the bridge. Careful with the bridge.
I hope you fail.
Did we tell you that there was this so I'll play music at work sometimes, and there's this little
Ooh.
dumb Christian girl, not to be redundant,
Oh god.
but like Venom came on.
Oh by Oh, you mean the band? My bad.
Yeah, and she was like telling people like, oh my god, they're saying Satan in the song. I can't. It's making me uncomfortable. And she was like telling people, can you please change it? And they're like, it's not my music.
The Christians have been killing and persecuting pagans for thousands of years.
I just thought it was funny that she was like, it said Satan, but the song says, I'll kill a newborn baby, tear infant's flesh. But the fact that it said Satan.
Yeah, but that's
was
what
the problem.
Christians would do too, so it's okay.
Yeah, but she wouldn't admit to that. She's too stupid. She doesn't know.
Aren't they all?
No, I don't think all Christians are stupid.
Just
I don't
most?
think. I don't think.
Oh, so you must be a Christian then.
No, I'm a Christian apologist, damn it. I don't think religion in any way, shape, or form contributes to somebody's stupidity. But I will admit that it looks like in some cases a lot of very foolish people gravitate towards the more organized, hierarchical Christian and religious structures that there are.
I think.
But if you have an allegiance to a religion, then it skews your ability to like.
Well, I mean, I don't think that a lot of... I personally know a lot of people who follow Christianity and who are also very smart and people who believe in, well, science as a whole. I think for these people, Christianity isn't like, you know, oh, I just take a couple pages from the Bible and then the ones that reflect my worldview are the ones that I like. These are people who like view the Bible not as a historical document, but it's a very flawed piece of literature written by many, many people. But nonetheless, they resonate with, you know, a good majority of what is said, mostly on the part of Jesus, not, you know...
But that in
why are
itself
they
is like
fucking
flawed because
How is it flawed?
they admit that it's flawed, and the only thing they agree with is the stuff that doesn't need like the, you know, be good, no
like,
murder, right?
It's basically saying like, yeah, it's dumb, but I like some sentiments and I want to believe in a God, so
but, like,
whatever.
but again, for some of these people, it's not necessarily like, oh yeah, the God I believe in is like a big man with a beard, you know, a big pot-bellied white man with a beard sitting on a cloud. It's like, for these people, it's like, I don't really know what God is. Like, I attribute God more to like this, you know, sort of overarching force that kind of guides the universe. It's like saying nature in and of itself is God, in a way. It's like saying the laws of
But
physics
then why?
and such.
But then that doesn't even seem like it qualifies as Christian.
Oh, do I need the ice thing?
No, I think you have to go to the
Oh, Red Mountain, okay.
But it's just like these people are grounding their beliefs in non-empirical evidence-based.
But no, I'm saying that's like, these are people who also balance that with science. And it's
But
like, for me, it's like, I can understand how people who might have been born into very abusive churches are going to be like, oh yeah, Christians are incredibly stupid. Like Christians, like, or people who believe in any sort of organized religion are very stupid. It's like, I used to think that way as well. And I think that there are a lot of, you know, Christians out there who kind of are the very vocal minority who also help fortify these views. These are people who are like, you know, Westboro Baptist Church type folk, or people who are along those same lines. But like, in the end, I think just because you have a flawed set of beliefs, I wouldn't even call a lot of Christian shit flawed. It's like, some of the shit that Jesus was espousing is like akin to what a lot of people who believe in like leftist values believe. I wouldn't call that shit flawed. But it's like, just because you follow some of the beliefs in a book and you admit that it's flawed, I don't think that look.
Then why are they following it if it's flawed?
It's because listen. Okay, let's take an example of something that we all pretty much follow, yet we still know that it's flawed. And that is our view of the climate.
Whoop.
Oh shit, my bad. Our view of the climate is very flawed, not in the sense that we just kind of blindly ignore it or that we don't look into it, but because we won't have like a complete view of how our climate systems work for decades because our scientific research just can't, advance us that far.
Yeah, but we're basing this knowledge on we've studied on empirical evidence.
Yes, but there are also Christians who do the same thing. There are people who study the history of the Bible. There are people who understand that there are multiple texts that aren't even printed in shit like the King James and the very popular stuff. There are people who believe that... Oh shit. I thought that was a platform I could jump on. Where do I fucking
And you have to destroy the little bomb things.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a funny death noise. But there are like people who are like, you know what? The reason that I believe in, some of the texts of the Bible isn't necessarily because it's religious. It's not necessarily because it is the thing that I base my life upon. These are tenets that I feel already conform to... How do you say? These are tenets that I resonate with on like an emotional level and not on a dogmatic level. Like, had I never read the Bible, I would still believe in some of the stuff that the Bible holds true, or at least, what Jesus...
Yeah, that's why you don't need the Bible to believe
That's why you
those
don't
things.
need the Bible.
Well, that's how some people are like... How do you say, introduced to it though? Not everybody is given like the Communist Manifesto at 3 years old. Nobody has that in the... You don't go to a hotel in the middle of fucking King County and they have like a Communist Manifesto in the drawer. It's a Bible. What I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of empirical evidence put into the research of the history of the Bible and the history of Christianity that in some cases, borders on real science. It's a historical study. It's trying to figure out who wrote the Bible, for what reasons they wrote the Bible. And for some people, it's like maybe the religious aspects of the book isn't as important to them as the communal aspects of going to a church, or as like some of the core tenets espoused by some of the people who wrote the book originally.
But I feel like by equating the historical side of it and the emotional / faith part of it is just totally different thing.
In what way?
Like because
Are you talking about people who follow? If you follow it doesn't make sense. If you follow the Bible, why would you follow the Bible just because there's historical interest in it?
follow the Bible because they generally believe.
I'm just saying that there is research involved in the history of the Bible because
We're not talking about the history. We're talking about people who actually believe that there's a
That identify as Christians.
that identify as Christians, that believe that God sent Jesus to die and he returned after 3 days. And
well, that's the thing. I'm not talking specifically about those people. What I'm trying to say is that there are just people who identify as Christian because perhaps where they were born kind of shaped how they think, but at the same time, they don't believe in, the personification of God. They don't believe in the miracles of Jesus. They just find that the Bible has, plenty of scripture that helps them, that kind of codifies parts of their worldview. And in that sense, it isn't necessarily religious. It's being Christian without being religious.
I just feel like conforming to the idea of absolute truth is just.
But I do. I believe in an absolute truth. Like, my absolute truth is like, people should have, shelter regardless of what sort of economic state they're in, what sort of financial state they're in. But that is a absolute truth to me.
Truth, based on stuff like, empathy and the betterment of humans.
But
not an absolute truth based on something not like that can't possibly exist.
But then why is empathy a good measurement? Not why is it the best? Why is it a good measurement of how we should base our societal rules?
I mean, I just don't think. I mean,
I'm not asking that because I don't believe it should be. I'm asking that because okay. The reason I asked that, and I'm just trying to, figure my words out to be as concise as possible. Also, where do I go?
I think you have to get back on the egg carrier from
down here
there. I think.
Am I already at the final boss?
Maybe.
Huh.
No, I think there's one you have to fight in the.
In the hot room or
Yeah.
whatever? In the hot shelter? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it's like when you say absolute truth, and again, I am totally not defending people who take everything in the Bible for granted. I'm totally not defending people who will like look at sections or like, yeah, like your wife shouldn't be able to divorce you. You should be able to like, persecute this kind of person, this kind of person. Like that is not what I'm trying to defend. I'm trying to defend people who look at the Bible not as a complete sort of document of how things should be run, but rather as a collection of documents that were written over time that, that kind of codify multiple worldviews based on a very, historically pertinent part of the era. So when it comes to absolute truths, I think that I just think it's, do I go down?
Yeah.
I just think it's weird to sort of like, yeah, why would you, why would you take anything as an absolute truth, or why would you try and like, follow something that is absolute truth when that's kind of how we live most of our day-to-day lives?
Yeah, but
we had constant doubt about things in general, then we wouldn't be able to have any sort of moral code, because morality sort of depends on believing in something to the extent that you would try and carry it out in your day-to-day life consistently.
Okay.
But I'm talking about absolute truth based on
Absolute truth?
claims that someone made without anything to back them up.
But
Like the existence.
But absolute truths are just human.
I'm just talking about, like, I'm not talking about the existence of God. I keep saying, like, these aren't the kinds of truths that I'm trying to defend.
No, I know, but why do you? What's the? Because
Is it this one?
Yeah, I think so.
If absolute truths are just common sense and it
No,
can be
never.
determined through your daily life, then why do you need to look to anything?
Well, I mean, again, it's like this. That may just be somebody's gateway to these.
But I don't think but then I don't think it's intelligent to hang on to it.
But then if for some reason your gateway to a more empathetic way of living was like reading a whole bunch of like leftist literature at a young age for some reason, I don't think that happens anywhere in America. But if it was, would you have the same opinion? Because it's essentially the same argument that you're given. Just because you.
But the Bible is by you giving any sort of credence to the Bible, you're allowing other people.
I had that introduction through the Bible. I was raised a Christian.
I know, and I'm saying that like some people like had very poor experiences with the church and specific churches.
It doesn't matter what you had poor or bad. I mean, because by saying you're a Christian, even if you are not a bad Christian, you're still a Christian, part of the whole.
Yes, but as I said, you don't have to be religious to maintain what you call Christianity. In the same way that I don't have to be Marxist, I don't have to be Leninist to maintain what I call socialism. Because there are so many different facets that all pertain to this sort of... Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, no.
I did it again. There are so many different facets that pertain to this overarching umbrella of, like, morals and economic sort of tenets that we call socialism, that we can't just call everything Marxism. We can't just call everything Leninist. It's like, I think it works in the same way. There are people who identify as Christian simply because it makes the most sense to them. Because it's like, I go to church, but I don't like... I pray to have a connection with the people around me, perhaps. I don't pray because I think that I'm connecting to some, like, big man in the sky.
Then what are you praying for?
Because...
There's nothing to pray to. If you're praying to, then that's not prayer at that point.
If we're talking about, empirical evidence, there is empirical evidence that shows that both prayer and meditation can help, boost, I guess, general mental fortitude. Maybe it doesn't actually include praying to a specific entity, but the act of prayer, the act of communally sort of gathering with people and sort of, kind of concentrating your hopes and your dreams towards a specific thing or a group of people in some instances.
You can do that without the dogma.
I'm saying... I know I sound frustrated, and I kind of am, because
Yeah, me too.
I keep saying that it's not about the dogma for some of these people.
For some of them, but they're still participating in a church that has
will
people that
always
do
be
have dogma.
problematic.
What if it's not that kind of church, though? What if they are participating in a group setting that isn't like a Pentecostal church, that isn't like a Catholic church? What if it's like, what if I'm being a socialist without being a Marxist? That is the kind of, where do I go?
I think you're going the correct way that way.
What if that is the kind of difference I'm trying to make? And I'm sorry that I can't really communicate it in a way that resonates with you.
Me too.
I feel like these are two totally different things between Marxism, socialism, and Christianity. That's like two, like.
In a sense, I mean, they're very different esoterically. They're different in that one is Christianity is more of a spiritual / religious way of viewing things, while socialism is typically relegated to economics and to social structure. But in the sense that they guide people's morals and that they guide people's ways of life. Oh shit! I should have been killing things.
I forgot about that.
Oh well. But in the sense that they guide people's morals and ways of life, I think they're quite similar in that regard. I'm not going to try and convince you. I really am not going to try and convince you, because it seems as though, like, your worldview is one in which Christianity is antithetical to, I suppose, any form of goodness, regardless of how that Christianity manifests itself. It feels like the way, and I keep making the socialism, sort of analog just because it makes sense to me, but it feels like the way somebody would, you would go up to somebody and say, like, hey, do you think, like, people should have, like, free healthcare? You think there should be, like a whole bunch of safety nets to ensure that people don't, like, get lost in, like, these webs of poverty? And be like, no, that sounds like socialism to me. It sounds bad because it's socialism.
I do not think that's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't.
And you're also on time.
I know.
I think you had to shoot it from there.
I know. I was trying to figure that out. It wasn't locking on. Well, you know what? I think we have... I know. We have very different worldviews on this, and perhaps, this setting in which I'm trying to, kill everything in sight isn't the best.
Oh, just like the Christians.
Some of the Christians.
Right, classic Christians.
Yeah, the Christian. I'm talking about Christian Light.
Christian Light.
Yeah. Christian Zero Cal.
Diet Christian.
I don't know. I definitely had a very similar worldview to yours, but, like, speaking with a lot of people who are identifying at least as Christian, that it just kind of changed my mind about how Christians operate, or at least how people who identify as Christians operate. I think there's a lot more of a multiplicity to it than, like, oh, if you believe in any form of Christianity, then you are bad and you're contributing to something bad.
I do think it's just generally a problematic belief.
Christianity or, like, religion? Because then I have to ask, like, how do you feel about Nick? Like, what do you feel about his beliefs?
I don't agree with his beliefs at all.
I mean, I don't either, but I don't think they're dangerous.
No, because I feel like when in terms of, like, dangerous religions, the Christianity is for sure, like, one of the most dangerous. Except, I don't know. I mean, not that I know a lot about Islam, but maybe Islam.
I mean, well, that's the thing. That is, like, classic Islamophobia there. We are shown so many examples of what the media wants us to believe are
oh my God.
I know. I think I got caught in the geometry for a sec. But we're shown through the media all these classic examples of, like, typical Islamists, typical, radical Islamists who are, dying and killing because that's what the Quran teaches. But there's, like, so much more in the Quran that it directly contradicts violence, that directly contradicts this sort of belief that the media wants us to hold, that, to believe in Islam is to believe in a rule through violence. Most, like, this is something that you can find through demographical studies. Most people who believe in Islam are not violent. They do not condone violence. They don't even
Of course, I
condone.
would say most people don't condone violence.
Exactly, but then you had said originally, like, like Islam is one of the most dangerous religions.
I would say Christianity for sure.
But you said Islam is one of them.
I'd say I don't know a lot about Islam, but maybe Islam.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But then, like, okay, I get you now. My apologies for misunderstanding. Fucking hell.
I just what was the point I was wanting?
I just don't think there are dangerous religions. I think there are. Oh, game over. Fuck.
I kind of just feel like the participation in any religion is silly.
I think that religion is something. Oh, I have to start the whole shit over. Religion is something that evolved alongside very early humans as a way to create cohesion amongst groups.
Right.
People who are able to form successful religions were also able to go on to create more successful cities and eventually city-states. That doesn't mean that religion as a concept is perfect. It just means that people with more developed and advanced religions were able to survive better as
that's
societies.
back then. It's
know.
archaic now.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
Society doesn't need these beliefs.
No, but I mean, it feels like it's more of a need for community.
yeah, exactly.
And can I think? But you don't.
Society doesn't need like
You don't
anything that
really-
people connect over. We could just not connect over anything. We could only just connect over the things that, you know, a certain few people believe or
You just connect over how you feel and not call it anything.
well, I mean, the reason people call it something is to call it something. Like, you go to this place where a whole bunch of people are congregating to kind of like share this philosophical debate with them, and you know, you ask them like, what do you call this set of beliefs so I can differentiate it from other sets of beliefs that have far different tenets? And they're like, don't call it anything.
Christianity.
Well, that's the thing. Like, some people call it Christianity because they don't want, you know, somebody asks you what you believe in, and you have to give it a certain name. Like,
Yeah, but why would you choose
why humans name things?
So why would you choose Christianity if you don't adhere to it as it seems to be presented?
Because nobody believes in it as it seems to be presented. Everybody has their own interpretation of the Bible, and some people have a far more laissez-faire like belief in the Bible, meaning that perhaps they don't believe in the God on high in such a literal way. Perhaps they don't believe in everything that's so morally egregious about the Bible, but again, it is the communal factor which kind of ties them to Christianity. I think we have very different definitions of how like religion works on a communal level and how religion works on a belief level. And I think before we can even like talk about, thank you for grabbing me.
You're welcome.
Before we can even talk about like whether or not religion is bad, I think we'd have to like kind of get all our definitions straight. Because like when I feel like when I'm talking about religion, I'm talking about a very specific form of organized belief. And then like, and not to assume exactly what you're believing, but when you guys speak about religion, it feels like this very cloudy thing in which every Christian and every Muslim is lumped into simply because they call themselves that. I am going to adhere again to the belief that just because you call yourself Christian does not mean you are religious. You can hold some of the beliefs without pertaining to this dogmatic hierarchical religious form that you'll often find in the very popular churches like Catholicism.
My aphasia. I agree. That's just like in this. I agree in the like, you know, you can agree with
Why did
like
you change the camera angle on me?
it's like sure, yeah, the Bible says don't murder and help your neighbor, and I agree with that, but I'm not subscribing to the Bible when it says all these other things that directly contradict it.
You don't have to.
And it's just like why even in the first place?
Yeah, but then why give it any credence?
Yeah,
Because
why give this archaic form of thinking that's like just known for being oppressive, why give it any leeway? Like,
because some people don't. Some people, again, when somebody says that something is taken as a I'm gonna lose again, aren't I? When somebody says that something should be taken as a historical document, as something that can perhaps bolster. Did I win?
I think you got it.
Oh
you got
shit! But I still have to kill.
Get the checkpoint. There you go.
Does it check? Oh, you're right. Fuck. Okay, thank God. At least we won't have to go all the way back. Oh, down. Like, okay. So if we're talking about not subscribing wholly to something just because one of the, just because something about it is wrong, like, what if we tried to extrapolate that to, like, everything else about life? What if you, like, didn't listen to a particular band just because, like, one of the members said something really stupid in the past? Man, I love fucking System of a Down, but, like, I love them despite John Dolmayan's, like, continued presence in the band.
Despite System of a Down continuously preaching Republican shit that John is.
No, but John Dolmayan still has enough of a base. He's got many tens of thousands of followers on Instagram, and, like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of them, a good many of the people following him on Instagram also, like, agree when he makes these posts, oh, you know what? Trump is gonna have the next one for sure. Don't worry about it. We don't back down just yet. It's like the people who, like, I guess in an inverse way, it's like the people who are all wearing fucking MAGA hats in that one video, like, singing along to that cover band playing Killing in the Name. It's like, that's kind of that in reverse, isn't it?
No.
Why not?
I think by saying,
where do I
okay,
go?
so you like System of a Down, right? John's a fucking douche. I think that's totally different from the Oh, okay, you're there.
Yeah, that's boss.
From the Bible, just like most of the Bible is, even in like, let's non-historically, let's talk about, like, its morals and its teaches, or what it teaches, I'm sorry. Is just problematic and archaic, and with the one exception with being Jesus, and how, by what we would call him a leftist, like, that's the one good thing of the Bible, or a few good things of the Bible. Also just comparing System of a Down to the Bible is,
It's weird, I know, but I couldn't think of anything else at the moment. I was trying to compare the concept of taking one thing that has specific, taking one thing and condemning it as, like, completely flawed, or at least near completely flawed, just because of a single aspect that might be. Granted, I haven't read the whole Bible in a very long time, so I don't remember, like, every single part, and whether or not every single part is comparatively good or comparatively bad.
It's rough.
I was under the impression that it was a mix. That is, like, you had as much shit about, like, killing your children if they disobey you as you do about, making sure the rich don't get into heaven for their sins.
That was all just New Testament, specifically the gospel under Jesus. If you read the Old Testament, none of it's, like, really about morality, quote unquote.
It's just like God being jealous.
Yeah, it's just God
piece of
killing
shit.
people, first of all, for, like, with the Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah. And first of all, like, even those, like, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah isn't like a story about morals. It's made by Christians to be one. Like, that's the classic story used against gay people.
For sure.
And I mean, if you really want to talk about morality, I would argue that none of it's really, the Bible doesn't really talk about morality until actually after the gospel, where Timothy and Paul are the ones that are going around teaching, and there shows what they teach, love others and stuff.
Oh, do I kill him on the bridge?
Oh yeah.
Oof.
So I just think, all that aside, I think Christianity or any labels of religion aside, I think oh, it's the cable.
Oh.
I think also just there is no good argument for the existence of deities.
I completely believe you. Or I completely agree with you. That being said, I don't think you have to believe in a deity or, like, much of the Bible in order to believe in, like, some of the tenets that are in the Bible.
I think the tenets exist without the Bible. That's the thing.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't credit it to the Bible. It's just existed outside. Even if it introduced it to you, you can take it as, like, that's
outgrow
just...
Yeah, but, like, it's How do you kill this guy again? Fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay. Again, my argument is not strictly to defend all the Bible or even like, I don't know, 50% of the Bible. My argument is to defend people who label themselves as Christian because of, you know, overlapping beliefs and because of the communities that they might... How do I dodge this fucker? There we go. And because of the communities that they might, you know, pertain to. I don't think it's morally upsetting to be a part of a quote-unquote Christian community if they're not, like, espousing what one might consider the stereotypical Christian beliefs.
I have never seen, and I've been involved with a lot of Christian communities, I have never seen a single Christian community that did not have even somewhat problematic behavior.
I mean, every community has problematic behavior to an extent. Like every music scene has problems.
Yeah, except this music scene isn't basing their entire truth on an archaic book.
But I'm talking about the communal aspect, not the truths that some people, you know, adhere to. I'm trying to explain Christians, not Christianity. I'm trying to explain certain Christians as people who are simply, you know, creating a tribe or who are part of an already created tribe. Like, and these people might be connected in some way to some, like, tenets of the Bible whose, you know, moral compass they share. But they also might have other beliefs that are incredibly different. Some of these people might be, like, hardcore leftists. Some of them might be more centrist. Some of these people might be, like, you know, queer. And some of them might just be very accepting cis straight folks. Hetero and straight are the same thing.
Then it just seems like...
No, they're not.
I don't mean this as an argument. I'm just gonna throw this out. It just seems weird that they would call themselves Christians. It seems like they would kind of veer away from it, given that you're missing the God part.
Yeah.
So it seems like the ideas would form into something that they would rather not call Christianity, because unless they're trying to, like, reclaim the name, which good luck. I mean,
yeah, but, like, oh fuck. I'm saying that, like, okay, I will agree with you there. I will say that, like, the word Christianity does already have this sort of this connotation that there is a deity that you believe in.
That is the Christ in Christian.
And maybe, like, some people do have that belief in a deity. But in that case, like, if it's not hindering their belief or their behavior, like, in a really detrimental way, if they can believe in a deity but also believe that they believe in science and believe in, you know, technological progress in ways that are, like, akin to how you and I might believe in these things, then what is the problem? Like, just because it's flawed thinking doesn't mean it's, like, evil. Like, I certainly have some flawed ways of viewing the world, but I wouldn't want people to think of them as evil because I don't think that guides me in a morally upsetting way.
Listen, I just thought the girl was cringe for not liking Satan. So
that's fair. I think so too. I don't even know why we started this.
I don't think it's evil. I just think it's problematic.
Why weren't we just talking about how cringe she was? Shit.
I don't know. You're the one that delved.
I didn't delve. We delved.
Okay,
we delved.
No, you decided to defend fucking Christians. So.
Well, because you were saying dumb Christians, as though every Christian was, like, you know, drooling out of one side of their mouth.
Because then I would have just said Christians. I said dumb.
And despite everything, we missed the whole thing where Gamma's hunting down his brothers and putting them out of their misery.
But you explained it to us. So.
And he killed Beta, and it's a Flicky.
And he also got shot, so...
He mortally wounded Gamma.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize that Flicky, right?
That was the mother.
That was the mother.
The mama. Mm-hmm. So they're not just brothers and sisters, right? Because that would mean that the mama and the papa are also...
I think they're independent of their hosts.
Okay, that's cool.
Also, but where is the father?
The father gonna come out the Gamussy.
Where's the father? Where's the father, Flicky?
Where's the fucky?
And then that's when Gamma realizes what the flicky is. Because Amy showed the bird.
The burb. I hope everybody enjoyed the story.
And then Gamma's like, wait.
And then he sets off a nuke and destroys everything on that side of the continent.
Except the little bird.
Because birds are nuclear proof. Have you ever put a bird in the microwave? It just doesn't work.
Try it. I remember when I was a little kid, I was watching this and I was like, oh my god. What? What?
Bird just gets fried.
Puts on sunglasses.
That one clip from We Won't Get Fooled Again plays. Remember when that was a meme in like 2011?
No.
I remember seeing like several videos and like flash games on Newgrounds where like like sunglasses would drop onto his.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking
Those
about.
sunglasses would drop on the character's eyes, and then it just played at like 5 seconds from Won't Get Fooled Again.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the Gamma story.
If you guys want to believe in a god, I've got you covered. His name's Yuji Naka.
Just don't put in the Konami code or play Sonic Adventure.
He'll laugh at you.
Yeah, but I mean, Christian God does too. So let's it. Are you gonna want to do Supersonic? Or you want to?
Oh, not right now. My ass hurts and I'm tired.
Oy.
Thank you, everybody.
God for help.
Everybody, put in the comments who your favorite god is.
And we'll make them fight in the next video.
Yes.
We'll have Ra. We'll have Yahweh. We'll have
Vishnu.
If it was 2008, Chuck Norris. You know.
He was like a demigod at best.
I get it. It still counts. Hey,
Every
Hercules can get in. Why not Chuck Norris?
We'll have every Greek god playing a 3-legged race.
Is that a euphemism for fucking?
I mean, they did do that a lot back in the Greek god days.
The 20-legged beast or whatever they called it.
The 20-legged beast is just a 10-person orgy.
Yeah.
Bismarck, how are you feeling?
Tired.
Good night.
No, remember, every god you believe in counts for -10 to your IQ.
Oh no! No, we gotta sit through the. It's like, what is this guy? He's getting Russian out of here, like the Russians.
I farted.
Gonna go all Noah on the Ark on us. I don't even know what that means.
You know, Noah on the ark. I put my boat inside the Noah on the ark.
Reminds me of the. There's the one guy on TikTok that he has like different costumes and he will do bits, and he's like, it's like he's dressed as Noah, like, all right, okay, 2 lions, all right, you're good to go, 2 crocodiles, and and then the one, it was like 1 elephant. I was like, no, it was a mammoth. It was a mammoth. It's like, excuse me, you didn't tell me that it was like a boy-girl thing. And he's like, well, what do you mean? We're gonna repopulate the earth? Like, what? Like, he's like, I brought my dad. And he's like, what? And his dad's like, ask him about the towels.
Oh
so
my
funny.
god. I like every British person now just sounds to me like fucking Stephen Grant.
Seaman Grant?
Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant is his porn star name. He doesn't like being called that.
There's another
Hello.
one where they're like,
You're what, mad?
with the animals are like, what's this guy doing here? And there's like a shrimp lounging by the pool. He's like, what? I'm just relaxing. And he's like, Noah, like what is he doing here? He's taking someone's spot. And he's like, come on, man, come on, you can swim. What are you doing here? He's like, I just want to relax, man. Like, and I like Oscar Isaac's acting a lot in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Is Oscar Isaac the
fantastic.
person who plays Stephen Grant / Mark Spector?
Yeah. Also Poe Dameron from Star Wars.
I texted Johnny about Oscar Isaac's acting when he told us he was watching Moon Knight.
Who's Poe Dameron?
He's one of the 3 main characters in the Star Wars sequels. It's Ray, Finn, and Poe Dameron.
Oh, you mean he plays? You mean Oliver Isaac plays?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac plays Poe Dameron. I thought Poe Dameron was another actor in Moon Knight. I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
wait, who do they play?
And Oscar Isaac used to be in a Christian ska band.
Oh, I didn't think you could have that.
Yeah, he played Ethan Hawke in the Christian ska band.
Ask Johnny about the OC Supertones. and they're like, God is great. He hates gays. And that's really the whole.
God doesn't hate gays because they don't exist. It's God Cena.
God doesn't hate gays. Gays don't exist.
Gays don't exist. They're just people who really like to fuck each other.
Oh yeah, the cishet
Wait.
thing. Cisgendered and heterosexual are not the same thing.
I know, but I said cishet straights.
Oh my
And
bad.
heterosexual is the same as
I
straight.
misunderstood.
You misunderstood my own misunderstanding.
Wait, that's of course it's different.
Yeah.
Cisgender and heterosexual.
Yeah.
That's two different things.
Oh, look, it's the birdies.
Birds don't have fins, you stupid fuck. What are you, Christian?
So, yeah. No, wait, the evolution. So what'd you think of the Gamma campaign, Bismarck?
Who was actually paying
That's cool.
attention to it?
That was way better than Big.
Yeah, for sure. It really, I guess maybe that's why it's so praised, because after coming off of Big, you're like, fuck, I need
Honestly?
anything.
Honestly,
It's like people.
I think it was the best one.
Yeah.
I think it.
It's
I
the
think
least wacky because Sonic's face is just.
I think the Sonic
Go away,
levels
man.
are way more fun, but the story and everything just goes on for so long that it gets pretty annoying. But then Gamma's is really short, but then you appreciate the emotional story behind it. You know?
I will say I like Sonic's a bit more just because there are so many levels, and even though each level has something that's shit about it, it also has like there are a lot of like legit fun parts in those levels. Like the fucking the casino. I love the fucking pinball zones. Like that shit is such a clever idea to put into a game.
I think all Sonic Adventure players are dumb.
I know.
Worse than Christians they are.
Goodbye,
Sonic
everyone.
Adventure players are gamers, so you know they hate gays just as much as Christians,
As some Christians.
as some Christians. As
I think every gamer is just a really repressed homosexual.
I wish that were true. Could you imagine the possibilities? Just throw them in a locked room with someone that's open to it. There you go. They're like not incels anymore. They're like their eyes are waking.
Their eyes are big like the anime girls they love.
Like the
Follow
cat.
all of Hitler's ideas, but no, Hitler was bad. We're still following all his ideas, but no, Hitler's bad.
My struggle.
I hope it's not.
All right. Start.
Mein Kampf.